Hey everybody, how's it going? It's Andrew again. Here my Sunday video. I told you I'd make a little video here just to talk about how I got to the point of doing this. As you tell, I'm a lot more awake than usual because it is 12 o'clock in the afternoon. So how does anyone get to the size I'm eat? Man, I can't even talk. How does anyone get to the size I am? Well, the simple answer is I overeat. Now, the question is, what got me to that point of overeating? And basically, growing up, I was always a little overweight as a kid, and I always wanted to play football or something like that. And they had weight limits of 95 pounds. And even when I was in like third, fourth grade and all this kind of stuff, I was more than 95 pounds. So I always had to go on these extreme radical diets as a kid. To lose so much weight in a month to be able to be eligible to play football. This came to a point of eating a lot less than what I was used to, and I know my mom, she helped me with this. Basically, she knew that I wanted to play football. I had to eat this way, and I wasn't going to stop myself from eating. I was a kid. I was hungry. I wanted to eat all the time. That's just the way it was. So getting with that and just being hungry all the time. I mean, I was to the point I was just thinking about sneaking food all the time as a child. It wasn't her fault. It was just me. I was hungry, and I was always hungry. But I had to lose the weight to play football, and I had to stay under 95 pounds through the whole season. Otherwise, I get a chance of not playing football anymore. So that's where it started for me, and I just grew to that hatred of being hungry all the time. So take that and just multiply it through years and years. I got in high school and food, I ate a little more, and I was still overweight in high school, but it wasn't as a big thing because I wasn't thinking about food all the time. So I know I had my parents watching over me, and if I ate too much one way or another, I'd get yelled at and stuff like that. Which makes sense because I was eating way too much when I did eat. So I was cutting myself back a lot in high school. But man, once I got to college though, and I had that 100% complete freedom away from everything, I was making my own money. I was, away from parents. I was 3 hours away from my parents, and I was just like, no one could tell me not to do this stuff now. So that's what I did. I ate. And I was eating out every single day, and almost drinking every single night. Beer and hard alcohol, drinking tons of pop. Just probably one of the worst lifestyles you've ever seen, because I was able to. There's no one to tell me no. So just doing that over and over again for over a year, that's how I got used to it. I wanted to eat junk food and all this other good stuff because I was away and I could. It was mine. You can't tell me no now. And even when I grew up later on, I still was thinking, even when I got back home, I was going, still can't tell me no. I'll make my own money. You can't tell me what to buy. And this trend just kept going and going and going. And it's getting to the point where I was just making excuses for everything. My clothes are fitting tighter. Man, I must have shrunk them in a washer and dryer because I don't know how to do laundry properly. It was excuse after excuse that I wasn't gaining any weight. Are you kidding me? Never gained any weight because I've never done that before. But I was gaining it so frequently and so much that it just never occurred to me. And then those little times when I'd wake up. Oh, I got to itch real quick. I'd wake up and, I don't know, legs were hurting or something for some reason. And I was like, man, just did too much yesterday. I guess I'll just sit around and do nothing. Become a sedentary lifestyle because that's what I wanted to do. I was always making excuses and all this kind of stuff. And I knew it was wrong, but I wasn't going to let anyone else tell me that it was wrong. So that's what it was for the past. And I graduated college in 2006 with an associate's degree. So now we're up to almost 13 years now since college, and I've just kept going and going and going. So it's basically the point of what happened is I just had no one to stop me, and I had no self-control of my own because I hated that hunger feeling. You know, not going to blame my mom for, doing that kind of stuff. It's not her fault. It's me growing up to be an adult and not realizing that I can have my own self-control. It's not the fast food fault. It's not all this. It's seriously me not realizing self-control was such a big thing. So that's basically how I got to this point. Now, I know that if I would have stayed doing some of the stuff I was doing in high school, I would never have got to this point, but I still would have been this big. And me, as a grown-up now, as a 31-year-old adult, I can honestly say that this is completely and 100% my fault. And I take the blame. It's no one else's. It's not the media, But I will say that there are always factors to help along with me getting to that point. Things that tempted me. And because I wasn't strong-minded enough to realize what those temptations were and how to best effectively deal with them, that I just didn't think of the consequences. And if anyone's watching this, and anyone ever thinks about watching this, think of those consequences from a child's perspective when you're younger. Teaching them to be that strong-willed person. Just telling them no, in my opinion, is not the way to do it. Because if they're anything like me or think like I do, telling them no is just... It just makes me think that later on, that when I don't get told no, I'm just going to do it. And I just wasn't fully understanding the consequences of why the no was needed. I didn't think this would ever happen to me growing up, because I never felt bad. I always did things I always wanted to do. Even when I started gaining weight, I was still doing the things I wanted. And all the problems I was having and all the pains I was feeling was just me doing too much all the time. So I never understood the consequences. That's basically, I think, what I'm trying to get out. I know I ramble a lot, and I'm kind of incoherent half the time, and I kind of mumble my words. I'm trying not to do that so much because I understand. I watched the other videos I've already made, and I can already see that my voice is not what I think it is, and the way I think I talk when it comes out, the way it comes out is completely two different things. So it's just not understanding the consequences, and I think that if we change that, make a child look at that consequence spot a little harder, and don't feel like you're being just make them understand what the consequences are, and making sure that consequences have actions may help this for future generations, not to have so many obese people like myself. Because honestly, like I said, it was just excuse after excuse when I was putting on weight and never thinking I was actually that big, until I started taking photos of myself and realized, my God, I got this big. It just completely 100% crazy. So now's the time to stop that and to get into it and start working out again, to start losing this weight. Try to get down to 250 pounds. I know that's still overweight for some people, but I haven't seen 250 pounds since probably freshman year in high school. So that's what I'm trying to get down to. I feel a hell of a lot better if I could. So that's what we're doing. I'm going to continue to make videos like this, talking about some of the struggles we go through. Probably on the weekends. Monday through Friday is going to be the pre and post workout videos. If anyone else wants to see anything like that, has any other questions, it is what it is. I'm thinking about starting a Facebook group of getting people together to help talk about these situations, because really talking about these is how we all go to get through all this kind of stuff, to figure out where our faults lie. Because in ultimate, we can sit there and blame everyone we want, but ultimately it's our fault. We still have the ability of free will to do the stuff and to do all the stuff we was talking about. So we'll end it there before I keep rambling on and saying the same thing over and over and over again. And I will talk to you all later. So have a good one. Good rest of your weekend. And I'll see y'all tomorrow morning around 7 o'clock. Bye.